Bellevue, Texas. Checking out that church behind me, trashed with hail damage. And apparently there is a parsonage, which is a house, also owned by the church, 1.5 miles away. Done here, inspection done. Flew the drone, found a bunch of hail, and go off and see this. This is like 2.5 hours east of Dallas. And when I leave here, I'm gonna go to Amarillo, which is, if you ever look at Texas on a map, it's like, my wife says it's like the chimney at the top on the left side. That's where Amarillo is. Going there next. Have to be there tomorrow to inspect, so I have reservations at the hotel in Amarillo this evening to inspect a commercial flat roof. Yeah, just grinding it out. A million reasons to complain, but what on earth would that accomplish? So I try to make positivity louder. Got a pretty good story here. Farmers called up about two commercial estimates that we had submitted a couple of days back. Of course, he's the independent adjuster, and he doesn't appreciate the fact that our emails went from the inside and out to him, and like his estimates were questioned. But anyway, after doing this for so long, it's just really quite simple to me. Keep all the emotions just completely out of it. It's not going to accomplish anything to get your emotions involved. And I could tell right away when he got on the phone, he was upset. And what had probably happened was he looked at the estimates and they were crazy higher than his were. He started to look through them and they had all these detailed footnotes, and he called up and he goes, you know, I'm not even going to review these estimates because I'm too tired for all that. Just too much nonsense in there. I know I got a whole 5 roofers that'll do this job for what I wrote it up as. So, you know, I've already talked to the insured and told him to go get 3 estimates, and you know, I can get, if he can't find any, then I can get somebody out there that'll do the job for what I wrote it for. Just real confrontational, and just, you know, like, he wanted a fight. He expected a fight, right? Because I guess with all the details on the estimate, it probably came across to him like sort of like a public adjuster or appraisal process, you know, where you just kind of, everything's on there. But so my response, and I think a good response to really get with anybody on this is, well, first I let him know, well, you know, sir, first I got to tell you, just to let you know, we were hired as the general contractor. We're moving forward with the repairs. So I'm not so sure what use, you know, getting 3 other estimates would accomplish. However, I do want to say though, in the email that we sent you over, we did say in there that we understand that it's, you know, a lot farther apart than where you are, and but we wanted to reassure you that we're very reasonable and willing to work it out. Honestly, you know, I'm willing to work it out with you, but the only way we know, you know, the only place we know where to start is to document all the details that's on the roof. And so could you just let me know before you let me go, because I'm curious, you know, I'm human, we make mistakes. What item on the estimate did you have a problem with? You know, or what items did you have a problem with? Maybe it was there by mistake, you know? So you could just kind of hear the tension in his voice, you know, and I told him, I go, you know, I've been doing this 20 years, but I make mistakes. Well, I've been doing this 30 years. You know, like it was a challenge or something. And I was like, okay, well, great. Then you wouldn't mind sending me over the items in the estimate that you have a problem with. You know, I mentioned it to him 2 or 3 times. And so he could tell I wasn't going to pick a fight with him no matter what. I was going to remain positive. And so he finally just said, you know what, there are some items in the estimate that I noticed that I could add in there, and I'll review it again. I'm going to go back out and take a look at both of those jobs and see what else I can get in there for you. And because I told him, I go, you know, honestly, there's some things we're willing to work with you on, but there's codes and, you know, involved. And I noticed for sure, no offense, but in your estimate, there's some items that were missing, you know, that are just code required. And those are things that we can't really do much about. You know, we kind of have to comply with the law there. And so he was just like, at the end of it, he's like, look, I'm going to revise it. But when I'm done, that's going to be that. That's going to be it. Now, I'm sure many people are wondering, well, what do you do then? You know, when you do go back and he gives you more money, he's going to try to get you to agree to it, right? Yes, he is going to try to get us to agree to it. But before we agree to it, we're going to say, look, yes, we agree to try to do it your way, as long as you agree to revisit this issue if it's necessary. And we understand that if we come back to you with extra items that are necessary to get approved at that time, we understand we're going to have to approve it. We're going to have to bring documentation to let them know why we have to do that, right? But we don't need to cover that now. He's, you know, at the beginning of the call, he said, so I reject both of your estimates. I'm not adding anything extra. To where he was ending up with, hey, yeah, no, I appreciate the time, and I'm going to go back out there and happy to work with you on this, and hope you have a great day. And he never did apologize for his snotty attitude, but that was kind of, you could tell he was a rougher guy. He was more aggressive. And that was his way of apologizing, I do believe. So at this point, the goal is to get more money off the table, right? So he's going to add more money, take it off the table. There's no reason to argue. Let's just play nice. So I always say the 4 things you want to do with adjusters at all times is you want to be respectful, professional, courteous, and diplomatic at all times. Like, that's a big, big deal. And you just would never believe where that you might end up. So I'm anxious to see how much money he does indeed add. I absolutely do not expect him to add all the items that's on the estimate, but he's not the inside desk adjuster, so I'll take whatever I can get from him and then deal with either him later or an inside desk adjuster. But that's for a totally different segment.